early in the morning and I can't talk very loud. I'm staying at my mom's house and everyone's still sleeping. So let's get under the covers and a little bit more intimate. Come with me. All right. I don't know if you can hear me or even see me, but today I'm going to be hiding underneath the burrito blanket and I'm going to give you 5 myths artists believe about vending. So let's talk about this. So, myth 1, you'll make tons of money right away when you start to vending. Well, you can make some decent money here and there. However, you got to start small and start where you need to be where you're at. It's okay. Oh, come on. Hey. I was making a video on it. Well, the vibe has changed, and I guess we're going back to the traditional thing. So I guess we can still be a little bit quiet, and we can pretend we're under the covers and whatnot, but our cover has been blown. I repeat, our cover has been blown. So we were talking about our myth 1, that you will make tons of money when you're first starting out as a vendor or artist. And yeah, you can make sometimes some decent money, but that's all right. You may even go in the red for your first couple shows. It's because you're still learning and you're still growing and learning how to do the thing for events and stuff like that. And another huge thing, which is I would consider another myth, however, I'm going to tie it to the same thing, is a lot of people think that vendors and artists at conventions and all these places, that you're paid to be there. That's not true. There's so many people that have to pay lots of money to even get into these events. You'll sometimes start anywhere from hundreds to even thousands of dollars in the red before even starting, and that's just for the vendor booth alone. So that's one big impact that you'll know. All right, moving to myth 2. You need a massive setup to look professional. No, you don't have to have these huge elaborate booths like some of these vendors do. I would actually say that you should start small when you're starting this thing. If you want to become an artist or a vendor and make a booth, start with a small little table so you know how your setup is, how is this going to progress, and then over time, once you have more product, more things to showcase and things like that, you can build and grow like that and even make your booth look even a lot more prestigious, because you can just start with your like basic little tablecloth. But that's here nor there. Anyways, we're going to move to myth 3. Myth 3 is once you figure it out, it gets easier. I think actually the flip side of that happens. It actually gets, you may have things that do get easier, like you're like, okay, I know how to do my setup. I know where these certain events are. However, once you start to get bigger and more well known or figure out all the logistics, those logistics get potentially even harder for you, because you're like, okay, now I have a bigger booth. What product am I going to bring? Which events do I want to go? Am I traveling across country? Now I'm getting invited to participate in some of these events. So it doesn't get easier. It doesn't per se get harder, but it definitely is a huge change and you have to move with it. Anyways, myth 4. The lifestyle is so glamorous of being an artist or a vendor on the road or going to these events. Yes, it can be super fun. You can have these great highlights and stuff. However, that's what social media everyone sees. They see all the glamorous portions. We don't post the things of when we're on the road, spending hours driving, painting behind the doors, and doing all the hard stuff. Anyways, let me stop real quick. Someone else is coming in. And whatnot. Let's get more intimate. Let's get under the burrito blanket. So I started videoing for like maybe 30 seconds, and then I hear the door unlock. And then I was like, oh shit, someone's here. And then Bob's like, what the hell are you doing? Because I had the blanket over me and I'm like talking in the dark. So he's like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, oh, I was trying to make a video and stuff and make a video. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go upstairs for a little bit. You can finish your video. Oh,
That's
speaking
so
of,
fucking
it's
funny,
recording
yeah.
again. Hey, future Harrison here. It's been a couple months since I first started this video, and I'm finally finishing it. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed all these little cuts from here, there, the behind the scenes with people walking in and whatnot. Let me know. But till then, fifth myth we're having is going to be people only buy your stuff if your art's perfect. I beg the contrary. There's sometimes a lot of people like to buy from vendors specifically starting out because they want to support your artwork where you're starting at now. And one thing that's really cool too is if they are starting to support you at the beginning and they follow your social media, it's a great way for them to see you grow. There's so many people I've seen that follow Olivia's art journey. She's been doing it for about 10 years now. And some people that have been there from the beginning and see how much they progressed and how deep and in depth they really enjoy that. And it's a really cool way for you to get connected to new faces and things of that nature. But just because you yourself might not think you're ready doesn't mean that other people don't like your art. So, you know, you don't have to be perfect because there are a lot of amazing artists out there that you'll see at the markets, at the expos, and things like that. But you don't need to compare yourself to them. You might be on day one where they've been running marathons for years. Everyone has their journey of where they're at right now or where they're going, and your art is going to progress, and it's going to be really cool for you to even maybe start selling your stuff when you're at the beginning. Because if you start adding, like, say, on social media or cataloging your art from the beginning, you can see how much you've progressed. But those are 5 myths. So if you enjoyed them or want to know more, or if you have some myths that you want to throw down in the comments, let me know. And if you join this content, subscribe and click up here because there might be another video that you enjoy. Bye.